because it's on obituaries and newspapers, and I have all the passwords for those things, so I can tell you about it. First of all, my question is, why do we need to look in newspapers and obituaries when we're doing family history? What's the benefit of that?
Make sure they're dead.
Okay, that's good. That's true, though. That's true. I mean, that is a good point.
You can find other hints for other people you're looking for in different articles.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I know with DNA, you can find living relatives. I use that a lot whenever I'm trying to find living people to be contacted for DNA type things. You can find daughters' maiden names. That's really helpful because, a lot of times it'll say their children and where they were living, which is also helpful. So you can identify where they're living at the time too. Sometimes you find interesting fun facts about them. And you can solve brick walls. Yesterday when Nancy called and asked about teaching this, I had already solved a few brick walls that very day using newspaper articles. So they really help. So the best places to find them are, there's Elise. Hi, Elise. Elise and I looked in some newspapers. We tried today anyways. So the best places to go to search for newspaper articles or obituaries are, do you know the two main websites that we use?
Newspapers.com.
Yep. What's the other one?
Genealogy something.
Yep. Genealogy Bank. That's true. Okay. So I'm going to show you a little bit about those, but I also want to mention to you that if you're looking for an obituary and you don't find them in those sites, call the county library. That's what I used to do before this all happened. I would just call the county library or email them and say, do you have newspapers for this time period? I still do it because sometimes I don't find them on newspapers.com or Genealogy Bank, but I think I better double check just in case. And I have received obituaries that way, and oftentimes they'll do it just for free. Sometimes they'll charge $5, but a lot of times it's just for free. So don't be shy. Just Google such and such county library, and then sometimes you can email them. Sometimes you can just call them and just ask for, if you have the date of death, you just ask for them to look for an obituary around that time period. Okay, so we're going to share my screen now. And first of all, we'll go to newspapers.com. So, anybody have a name they would like to look up? Actually, let me do one first. This is the main search engine right here. I'm putting in my name, and I'm going to put in Yuma, Arizona. Hit enter. Wait, something's not right here. Oh, I know. Let's see. What? Okay. Why is it? Oh, I know. This thing is in the way. Ha! It's where all your pictures are. I'm not putting in a date because it's just my name and it's unusual enough. So here we go. Voila. Here's my engagement picture. There I am. So for fun, you want to see if you're there, you just Google in your name and you'll find it. So anybody have a name they want me to try? an ancestor name?
You want a hard one or an easy one?
We could do either one.
I have one for you.
Okay.
Flora Meyerhofer. So it's FloraMeyerHoffer.
And about what time period?
Probably about, well, she was born in the 1890s, I believe. So, 1900 would probably.
Let's just put a place. Her name, oh, wait.
Salt Lake.
Okay, just a minute. Flora Meyer Hoffer. Is that right?
Yep. Two F's.
That's one thing to be aware of, that when you're trying to change things and you hit an X over here, it will automatically X out over there. So we'll put Salt Lake.
Yep.
And then just click this little button, or actually once I put the name in, it pops up. Oh, speakers included Bishop Worthland and Flora Meyerhofer. Is that her?
Yes. Yep. She was an interesting lady. She was served a mission. And so she didn't marry very early in her life. So she spent a lot of time serving, in the church. And so they would take her to speak to young adults and that kind of thing all the time.
The funeral she spoke at.
Bishop Worthland.
Yeah. Let's see what else is there for her. Mrs. Sears was.
Yes.
Mrs. Sears was the former Miss Flora Meyerhofer.
Yes. Yep. She
Don't
finally.
you love these little things here?
Yeah. So when she was in her 40s, I think she married Dr. Sears.
They returned from an extended visit in the East. These are some of the fun things you can find in newspapers. I know one time in Oklahoma, I was finding they would just have this whole list of different people going to visit so-and-so, and somebody coming to visit here, and somebody's going to give this in the fair, and somebody's going to do that in the fair. I mean, Salt Lake is a big city, so I'm surprised that there's so many, but those little small town ones are the really, really fun ones also. Okay, John, did you have a name, did you say?
Francisca Garcia.
Oh boy, Francisca Garcia. And do you have a date?
She's born in 1868 at San Antonio and lived most of her life in San Antonio, Texas.
What was her name again? Francisca what?
Garcia. And 1860, San Antonio.
Don't put the date in because she was probably alive for a long time.
Actually, no, she died in 1903, giving birth to triplets.
Right, 1903? Let's put that in there. Because that's kind of a common name for San Antonio. And it didn't show up any matches.
Okay, take out 1903 because I thought I saw something.
Or change her name to Rodriguez. That's she married.
Is that her married name?
Yeah, Rodriguez.
Oh, okay.
Well, I see a little bump there that showed a name came up.
Okay, I'll take out 1903. No, it didn't take it out.
Yeah, she's one of my brick walls.
Oh.
Okay, here's 1976. That's too late.
No.
There's 273 matches, so you might want to narrow it down. You could put 1900 to 1910 and see if that helps.
Nope, looks like Francisca. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to Genealogy Bank. So this is Genealogy Bank, and if you just click on that or click on search, it takes you to this main searching place right here. And we can even try Francisca Francisca Rodriguez. Oops.
Is it QU or GU?
Either way.
Rodriguez. And we could do an exact name search if you wanted to or not. And then we could put, I like Genealogy Bank for the fact they let you do a date range easily right here. And we could pick states. We could pick Texas.
Can I make a comment about the exact name search? They actually have a couple of formats. Some people have a newer version, or anyway, there are two different versions, and some of them don't have exact name search. And so if you have one that doesn't have that, you can use quotation marks. So you would put Francisca Rodriguez both in first name or last name.
Very good. Thank you. That is so true. Then we'll just do a search. And there is they're kind of broken up, but it doesn't have it where they're together. The name is together. There's a Rodriguez. Here's a Francisco Rodriguez right here, 1906 in Brownsville, though.
But right above it, there was one in San Antonio.
Just plain, oh, there it is, Francisco Rodriguez. That's true. We could look at that.
That's a man with the O.
Oh, and O, that's true. Let me go back. Here's right here, Defunction, 1908.
Yeah, she died 03.
Years old. This is maybe somebody else. Now the thing is, whenever you want to copy these, and I should go back here with newspapers.com, for example. Let's go back. Let's see. I could either, I often do the print save one, and I'll just select a portion of the page like this. And then I can save it. And I usually do a JPEG so I can post it on Family Search and just store it somewhere. And then it will pop up with the title up in here. So you'll have the title of the newspaper and everything.
And how do you do that?
Right here where it says print save. You can use the clip function if you want to.
Oh, clip.
But I often do this print save.
Okay.
And then I select a portion. You could do the entire page, but it's hard for people to read the entire page. So I'll do click select portion, and you see how it has that little box right here. I'll just stretch it to make it fit however I want it to fit. You save. You can save it as a PDF if you want. I usually do JPEG. PDF will work for Family Search too. And then there it is. You can save it. And then with Genealogy Bank, they have more of the clipping tool thing, although you could use the print. And if you do that, it says, would you like to print the current page or a portion of the page? And so you can do the same type of thing, or you can clip it. So either I try both of those when I'm looking, because sometimes one has different newspapers than the other one has. Now, just because yesterday this is where I found a gem. New York State, I found this years ago when I was doing some research for a friend of mine. There's these two right here, the Fulton New York postcards. Even though it's not postcards, they're actually newspaper things. This website right here actually helped me to solve a major problem, brick wall. It was the Harvey family, John Harvey in Lawrence County, and we didn't know who his parents were. Well, I just did a general search for him, for different children. You know, I just do everybody in the whole family. One of his daughters popped up. She was visiting an uncle in Maine. And that uncle is the one that gave me the cues and clues that I needed to find the ancestor. So this is a fun website. This one here, I'll show you. This is a great website too for New York State. So yesterday, I went to the search button And I was trying to find Libby Harvey, same friend, Libby Harvey. I was trying to find if she got married or what the deal was or what was going on with her. And so I just typed, I didn't want to do 1725 to 2020. I did, oh dear, what did I do? I did, just a second here. Now I have to remember. I forgot to write that part down.
Hi, Dirk.
1 second.
Hey, Dad, how are you?
I'm good. Hang on a minute.
Are you in your class?
Yeah.
Oh, well, call me afterwards. No big deal.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I did, I think, 1900 to 1911, or I'll put 12. Go. And at first, it didn't seem like there was anything of interest. And wait. Okay, well, it's still not. I think maybe what I did is I put Elizabeth Harvey. Let's try that. Well, it's not bringing it up. Because that's how it works. But oh, there's several pages. That's why. Let me try again. Sorry. I'm going to try Libby again. Oh, man. It's making a liar out of me. Oh, maybe I did. What it did is that it came up with this little article that said, a good many from this place attended the dance at Morley Saturday night. Mrs. John Harvey and son, J. Elbridge Harvey, and daughter, Mrs. Libby Dewey, visited at the home of Mrs. E.B. Harvey. Well, I recognize all these names. I know who Mrs. E.B. Harvey is. I knew who Elbridge Harvey was, and I knew he had a daughter named Libby, and Libby was the one I was looking for. So here's Libby, Mrs. Libby Dewey. Now I know where to go and find her with her husband. So even though it didn't work for me right now, it did yesterday. So if you have people in New York State, this has helped me solve more problems than I can tell you about. Both of these two right here. Now, Utah also has digital newspapers. I don't know if you are aware of that. Newspapers.lib.utah. And you can do a search for newspapers there. You know, a lot of states will have newspapers, and what you need to do is just go to the wiki. So just go to familysearch.org and just see if there's anything for your state that might be cool, like that one. Those are. So you go to the research wiki, and let's say you wanted to know if there's newspapers in Oklahoma. So you could just do Oklahoma, and then look over here on the side where it says newspapers. And then they have all these resources that you can try for your ancestor to look for. So those are newspapers and obituaries. You go to for newspapers.com and Genealogy Bank, you need to go to the Family History Center. They're free there. Otherwise, they cost money. The only reason I can do them is because from work I have the username and password I can show you. But the Family History Library has them for free. Now these others that I showed you, the New York ones, the Utah, those are all free. And of course, calling the library may be free, hopefully. And looking in here, they'll put a little dollar sign if there's, cost money. Otherwise, look at this, Oklahoma Online Historical Newspapers. They have, probably most states are going to have different newspapers that you can check with. So that is a really, really valuable tool to use in your research, are the newspapers, and trying to find just different articles about them, or like this one where they went to a dance and it told me what her maiden name was. I mean, her married name was. So it can either solve a problem or give you interesting information. Okay, the other half of tonight's presentation was about the premium sites. And so I have a few of them pulled up here. We'll start with, we'll end with my favorite. So we'll start with the others. Here's Fold 3. Fold 3 is a pay website, but free at the Family History Center. It started out as mainly a military site, and now they have a lot more information on here. So let me give you an example. Now, my great-great-grandfather, Jesse Smith, fought in the Civil War, and that's a very, very common name. Okay, I better go up to here to search. And I'm going to click Civil War Union. Right. Jesse Smith. So I clicked Civil War Union. Now I'm down to 4,000. Then I'm going to go to U.S. Civil War Union. Go to United States. Go to the Army. Then I want to add a place. Filter the place. Oh, military place. All military places. I'm going to put West Virginia. And I believe this is him. Oh. Okay, so I didn't get a chance to practice with everything. Today was really a busy day. But Jesse Miracle Smith is his name. But you can find them just by filtering and keep going. And if I would have practiced, I could have shown you a little bit better. Because he did have a pension. So, but they also have other things on here as well. Besides wars, they have a lot of, you can see these different countries. They have, I know whenever I've Googled things before, it's led me here for other types of records that they have. So they're increasing their record collection a great deal. I forgot to put up, or I did put it up, but I lost it, is...
So, I have a question about the memorials on the Fold 3. Are they just memorials that Fold 3 has created?
I think so, or that because you can create a memorial.
Oh, okay.
So there's the honor wall, the Vietnam wall. So they could be the walls also, the
Okay.
USS Arizona Memorial. But you can also create a memorial if you wanted to for your ancestor.
Okay.
Here's Find My Past. Also, this is one that you can get for free through your LDS account through Family Search. And they started out predominantly for England, but they're also increasing things. And their big thing, besides their normal big stuff, you know, their church records and everything, are the newspapers and periodicals that they have, speaking of newspapers. And so, and they keep adding to it all the time. And so this might be a very valuable thing to try if you have ancestors in England. But one thing that
I found one a couple of days ago in Wales.
Wales, oh, awesome.
Really easy.
Most people like to go to the parish registers. I use those a lot. But look, they have also military service, census. Census you can usually get on Ancestry, and this you can get on Ancestry. But 1921 addresses, that could be valuable. These addresses, immigration. So it's worth it if you have ancestors in England that are giving you a problem. This is a good website to come to. Their newest thing is the 1921 census, but you have to pay to use it, I believe. I mean, you can use the index, but I think in order to see it, you have to pay extra. Oh, I did have Find My Past up. Okay. Here's My Heritage. It's another big website. They have a lot of, they're just growing leaps and bounds. Their DNA is also growing quite a good deal. This is the place where you can colorize your photos. So if you want to upload a photo and have it colorized, you can do that, or to restore, or to do even enhancing the photos and animating photos. I think I've shown that to you before, right? The animate photos where you can upload something. Here, I'll do it really quick. Oh, I can't. Never mind, I'm on the wrong computer. But see how they did that? It's kind of creepy, but kind of cool at the same time. Or you can enhance them. You can kind of fix them and make them look clearer. For research, I mean, some of the things that are really good, I like to use this for Danish records, but they're also starting to grow their Swedish collection and other collections as well. You just want to go into search all records and just put in a...
Good Mexican records.
Okay, let's do that. Let me get to...
They do good. I've found some good stuff from Mexico.
Go to the collection catalog. And then you can just go down here to the different countries. Here's Latin America. Refine further. And you can pick, like right here. There's Mexico right there. You can see the collections that they have. Mexico baptisms, marriages, and deaths is a collection that they have for Mexico. But if there's another country that you're interested in, just pick one of these right here and see what they have. Like here's Europe. I can look for example, I could look for Sweden and see what they have. And I can see they're getting a lot more of the examination books index. That's great. Here's baptisms. They're probably selected. It's not going to be covering everything. But then look at, they're starting to get some of the different villages on here, or counties, church records. So it's always worth to come back, see if they've got what you need yet.
And you don't have to look up in My Heritage. It's automatic. If you just click on in Family Search.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's except.
See if they have Russia here. There's Russia.
Oh,
Oh, see, this is what I was looking for. Samara church books. Ha, 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 Angel. They've got some of the Samara church books there from the Volga Germans.
Oh,
I don't know. I think we looked here before and we didn't see your village though. So that's my heritage. Then let's see, other premium sites. Oh, Archive Digital. If you do have Swedish ancestors, that's kind of an expensive pay site and it's free at the Family History Center. So if you have Swedish ancestors, they have a lot more than you're going to find on either Ancestry or Family Search. And it's a great website for Sweden, if that's what you have. There's GeniaNet, which is free with your LDS account, and Filet, which is mostly French. GeniaNet is genianet.com. It seems like with GeniaNet, they had, I know I found before where they had those German family books, a lot of them through GeniaNet. So you just never know what you're going to find in some of these different websites, especially the ones that are free. Let's go to actually now that I'm talking about the free websites. So if you don't know or you want to show somebody else and you can't remember how to get to them, just go up here to the little question mark where it says Help Center. Then you're going to see View All because you want Family Search Partners. These are our partners. Right here, Partner Access. So here you can see what we get for free. Here's American Ancestors, it's Early American, Back East, Filet, French, GeniaNet, a lot of French and other things though too. My Heritage that we just showed you, Find My Past. And now my favorite is Ancestry.
Can I report that Ancestry did not work on the far right computer when I was there from 4 to 6?
Today?
Did not work automatically.
Oh.
I don't know. I think we.
Can you let Richard know and have him check on that, see what he can find?
I thought he fixed that, but I'll give him another call.
Okay, this is a free one through your LDS account, and I've taught so many classes on this. You guys are probably sick of it. But just so you're aware that they have all these sections right here, or you can go to the card catalog. Like we were trying to with Elise, we were trying to get quickly to the Social Security. So I just went to the card catalog and I typed in as keyword Social Security. And then I could get quickly to the U.S. Social Security applications, or I can get to the death index. And then it brings up, look at that, Czechoslovakia social welfare and repatriation records. Who would know? That would be under Social Security. Czechoslovakia Jewish applications. You just don't know what's going to be here. So just as an example here. Oh, I'll tell you that later. So give me a person. It can be a hard one, an easy one, whatever. David, you gave me the hard one before, didn't you? And we found him. Somebody else give me somebody hard. Well, we'll do the one that Elise and I did today. George Arthur. I'm just doing a general search. He lived in Canada. He was born about, was it 1812? No, 1828. 1828, right, Elise? He was born
The brother was 1828. George was 1812.
Oh, was he 1812?
Yeah, 18.
I thought they were close in age. He was in Northumberland County, Ontario. Yep, you're right. There he is. So I just did a general search for him, trying to find him. And there he is on the 1851
Matthews,
census.
and they're coming back from Cedar from graduation. Yeah.
So one thing, this is just a side note from Premium Sites, but one thing that we did today that we think is going to help is that I took this 1851 census. I just did a right click and brought it over. So I have two places now. I don't lose George over here, and I want to look over here. And so what I did is I went to this 1851 census. I typed in the last name of Arthur. I typed in Ireland, and I lived in Northumberland, Ontario. Oops, it helps to spell it correctly. And to see if there's any other Arthurs, because this is her elusive Irish ancestor. And we haven't been able to find anything on George. So we just did a general search, and lo and behold, here is a William. William, as it turned out, is just living not too far, and he's living in George's wife's mother's family. So that's just a little tidbit for when you're searching and you're stuck. Even if you're not stuck, look for that same surname in the same place and see what you can find. In this case, we may have found the marriage record for William, which named their parents. We don't know this for sure, but it's a clue. So just a little tip there. Okay, that was just a general search. You could go to the census. You could do a U.S. federal census, a United Kingdom census, a Canadian census, or lots of other censuses. You just have to view all in the card catalog. They have birth, marriage, and death sometimes when I'm stuck, but I have an exact death date. I'll go here and I'll type in their name with the exact death date, maybe just a first name, and see if I can find them that way. Immigration and travel. This is when you're trying to find them and you're hoping that they came in the 1900s so that it tells you where they were born. For example, what was her name? Francisca. Oh, I can't remember. Anyways, this is my famous story where I was looking for an ancestor and realized that she was coming back from Germany. And sure enough, there she was with all her children, and it told me where she was born because it was in the 1900s. The other thing is that you're always hoping if they came from Europe, not including England, you're hoping that they came through the port of Hamburg because that tells you where they last were living. How to remember trees. If you've had my classes before, this is where I tell you to always go first because you never know if somebody else has been working on that line and they may have some clues. They may be wrong, but they also may have clues that you need. Military. This is really helpful, kind of a good index for just pinpointing if they were in the Civil War. Let's see if we can find Jesse Smith here. Oh, great, but I can't remember. Military. I can't remember when he was born. So I may want to, well, there's only 20. There's no Jesse Smiths. Yeah, I'm batting 1,000 today.
Oh, you're batting 0.
Okay, let's do this then. Oh, wait, he didn't live in West Virginia. Well, now that's interesting. Joseph Steinbeagle didn't even live in the United States during the Civil War. But, but here's a pension. Actually, it's for his service in the Spanish-American War, but for some reason it's indexed under the Civil War. You always want those pension indexes, those pension records. So this is Ancestry. And of course the DNA. MyHeritage has a DNA also with matches and tools and such, which is not my forte. So that are the premium sites. Oh, and I wanted to show you one reason why. I want to show you, now I can show you a real example of how a mystery was solved on my line. I was stuck on my, just my great-grandfather. My grandmother's, well, no, it was her grandfather on Thomas. I had no idea where he came from in England. No idea at all. This is back in the day. I was young. Nothing was digitized. Everything had to be done by letter or whatever, and I didn't know what I was doing. So one day, my mother got a card in the mail from a cousin with an enclosed obituary. And this little obituary said, Thomas Hallam. He was noted, had been a resident of Cecil. He was born in Manchester, England. And it tells me that he had 3 sons and 1 daughter and these children. But this is what I did not know. A sister, Mrs. Maria Ogden. She was the key to finding them in England. So go for those obituaries, go for those newspaper articles. In fact, I tell people when they're trying to do immigration research, you've got to find an obituary for every single child in that family, as well as the parents, if they're available, because one of them might spill the beans and tell you what's going on. So I think that is everything I have. Do you have questions, or do you want me to look up anything, or how can we?
Diane, have you used very many of the premium sites that are about New England research?
The American Ancestors, that one?
That one, and there's another one too, but I don't remember the names.
American Ancestors is the one that's free. This one right here. Is there another one that we have?
I think there is in the premium sites. I think there's another one, but I don't remember the names.
There's a lot of different ones on the premium sites at the Family History Library. Actually, let me bring up, I do have from something I before, I have a list of them right here. So the 19th century British Library newspapers is one. The Alexander Street Press, which has American Civil War research database. Fam.net for those with New Zealand roots. Paper Trail, it has access to 19th century westward American migration documents. Kinpoint helps you to see what to work on at a glance. I'm not as familiar with that. Pazilla, they have, I guess Pazilla now costs money in some ways, and so they have that there. So those are the main sites that we have at the Family History Center, besides the ones that I just talked to you about. American Ancestors I have used before. Let's see. I have to go find my username and password. But it's Oh, my book's in the other room. Anyways, it has a lot of things on the early migration. I think they may have those Great Migration books on here. I think, if I remember correctly, which is kind of good if you have those really, really early American immigrants in the 1600s. Any other questions? Or you
Yeah,
want
I
me-
have. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, I have one person I'm looking up. I'd like you to look up. His name is Charles
what?
Megish.
Where
Huh?
would you like? Where would you like me to look him up at?
United States.
That's Ancestry or on newspaper?
Whichever is best.
Oh, okay.
The only
Let's try.
record I have him for him is draft registration,
Okay. What's his name?
Pennsylvania. Charles Megishi, Megzesi.
About when was he born?
1879.
Where was he born? know? Or where was he living?
He was living in Pennsylvania at the time. He lived in he got married to my grandmother in Bridgeport, Connecticut, but she told me that. But I hadn't found any records of the marriage for Bridgeport, Connecticut. And I don't know when he came over, the ship's records or anything like that. I have it on my other computer on, let me see, person.
Let's try this general search first and just see if anything, because his name's unusual enough, let's just see if anything comes up.
World War I.
So is this the World War I draft registration? That's what you said you
Yeah,
found?
that's what I have, yeah. Oh, he's in the federal census? Cool.
Looked like it in a previous screen that you clicked past.
Let me write that down.
Sorry.
1930 federal census. Mm-hmm.
Here's a spelling that looks like it could be him. He was in Somerset County, Pennsylvania, and this is in World War I. So
Yeah.
around 1920 census, and then his spouse is Emma.
Yes, Emma. My grandmother's first name is Emma.
You might want to actually come up here.
It was IRMA, but it changed to Emma in the United States. She changed her first name. Yeah, 1920 census.
Is that Emna with an N? E-M-N-A?
2 M's.
2 N's?
M's. M.
Oh,
like
okay. So it's
Mom.
Emma.
You also
Yeah.
said Connecticut. Let's just type that in for fun. Do you know her maiden name?
Yes, her maiden name is Berner. Oh, wait, no, that's my mother's maiden name. Her maiden name is David, D-A-V-I-D. Irma David.
Irma or Emma?
Emma, I don't know when she changed her name, so you could try both if you want. IRMA.
Okay. So
It's
with
IR.
first of all, what I may want to do, because it's not, his name is spelled correctly on on the draft registration, but there were all these other possibilities. Let's see. I'm going to go back here. Go back to where I was. Okay. So
Sometimes I think they ask people what their name was, and then they spell it the way it sounds, and then it might be different. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So what I want to do is I'd like to look for him on the 1920 census, because if he's married in 1918, that is so close. Unless he died in the war, they should be on the 1920 census, hopefully somewhere around Somerset County. So I could, to get there quickly, I could do browse by category. And then I could just pull up this 1920 census. And it doesn't show anybody, of course.
Mhm.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try, where was it? Somerset? Is that what I said? Somerset.
Pennsylvania, yeah, Somerset, Pennsylvania.
Somerset, Pennsylvania. And I may even do Charles without the last name and Emma. And just see if anything comes up.
Probably thousands.
There's only 7, but there's nobody with that last name. So I'm going to put county and adjacent counties. Do you know where all their children were born? Do you know where they died?
You could try IRMA too. No, well, yeah, Charles, he changed his name to my grandmother's second husband's last name, which was Berner. And he
So
died.
when did she marry him? When did Charles die?
I don't know when he died. Let me see. Let me look on here. A death. No, I don't. His birth, that was 18 of August, 1879. You know, that was on the draft registration thing. Yeah. I don't know when.
I'm just going to look for Emma first next then.
Yeah.
Meg. Wait, am I spelling that right? G-Z-E.
Emma Metishi. Yeah.
Do you know about when she was born?
Yes. Let me look. Yeah. My grandmother was born. Yeah, I'm looking her up on my.
But when Emma was
Okay.
born.
31 May 1896.
Emma was born in 1896?
Yes.
Okay.
So he's a little bit older.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like 20 years. She was born in Vidka, Hungary.
I want to say it meant that it was Austria at the time. Was it Austria-Hungary?
Could have been, yeah. Vidka.
What was her next married name?
Her next married name was Berner after that.
And where did they live?
They lived in Pennsylvania.
Where at?
About the same place. Let me see.
They live in Indiana County by chance?
Yeah, Indiana, Pennsylvania. Yeah.
She is with, you probably already have this, with her second husband, Joseph,
Yeah.
and Charles. You're trying to find her first husband, though.
Yeah. Her first husband's son was Charles.
Charles, he's going as a burner here. But then I want to look at some of these hints just to see if there's anything that might be useful. Because you said that he is the first. Well, he's going by burner now.
Yeah.
So he must have been legally adopted or something then. He was born just about the time of that World War I draft registration. I wonder if he died in the war.
Yeah, he was born, let me see, February 1917. Bridgeport, Connecticut. And he died 26 May 1952. That was Charles. Yeah, it's right. It's before that draft registration, I think. Right?
So this will take a little bit more investigating on my part.
Told me you wanted a hard one. That's funny.
Except
I
that it's
can't get my camera to work. Sorry.
the only thing is that it's these children on this burner. It's hard if we could tell when Joseph and Emma married, we'd have a better idea. Well, here's an obituary. Let's look and see what this obituary says about Joseph Berner. Maybe it'll tell us when he got married. He said, Joseph Berner, age 44, well-known miner, died in the hospital. He was a native of Austria-Hungary. He was injured in a mine accident. He's a member of the Roman Catholic Church. And then it has his widow and 5 children. Sometimes the obituaries will say when they got married.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Maybe if he was injured in a mine accident, there would be a record of that somewhere.
Now, it could be that her first husband was a miner and maybe he was injured in a mine accident. Or
No, well, he died of coal miner's black lung.
her first husband?
The second. I don't know how the first husband
Well,
died.
I was just wondering if they're both coal miners. Maybe he was killed in an accident and that's why he's been so hard to
Maybe.
find.
Oh.
Maybe they would be in a newspaper article about a mine accident.
Yeah, you might want to check newspapers.com right there. We could look. What was
Government records of the black lung stuff was a big thing back in the Union days.
Yeah.
it's MG?
MEGZESI. That's the way it's spelled on the draft registration card.
Nope. We could try it here too. Oh, I've got the wrong years here.
Yeah, there's not too many people with that name.
No, that's what I thought. I'll just do the last name and see if anything comes up.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want Texas though. So let's
Maybe
take out
had
Texas.
brothers. Maybe had.
Well, that's the other thing. It's like we could do a search and see what they were living in Somerset for others with the same last name, MEGZESI. I could do Somerset, Pennsylvania, and maybe do county and adjacent counties and just see if anything pops up.
Yeah, my grandmother lived in a place called Dixonville. I think it was in Indiana County. These things are just starting to pop into my head. You know what I mean?
Here is a Virginia Magazoo in Somerset County.
Wow.
Here's like the same. Yeah, there's Charlie McGee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it may take a little bit more, but I think we can find him. Just don't want to hold everybody up here.
Oh,
But I'm going to write it down.
Yeah.
We'll see what I can
another
find.
time. Yeah. I'll try
Now,
to.
who's asking? So if I find anything, is this?
David Galagonia.
Oh, it's David. Okay.
Yeah. I'm the one who gives you hard ones.
Well, didn't we find your last hard one? Didn't you have the hard one before?
Yes.
We found that, so you never know.
Yeah. Yeah. That was Rosa Galagonia for
Yeah. So I'll look at it a little bit more.
Seward, Pennsylvania. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And I'll try to find it. Maybe it's in one of those partner sites or something like that too.
Yeah, I would look for his name in those different places and just see if there's something.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions before we close?
Diane, Jeff left a note in the chat that says, try Charles Shelley, born 1890 in Pennsylvania. Now, he didn't specify which site he hoped you would search, but he said, Charles Shelley, 1890, Pennsylvania. And he didn't specify, yeah, that's.
Charles Shelley in Bucks County on a World War I draft registration, or a Charles, whoop, go away. Charles Newton Shelley in York County. Do we know what county in Pennsylvania by chance?
That's my grandfather. He was in Belvedere. Actually, you could probably try New Jersey. Might be better.
Jersey?
New Jersey.
Was he born in New Jersey or he lived in New Jersey?
He was born in New Jersey in Belvedere.
Okay, let's put born in New Jersey.
Yeah, Charles F.
Right here, this is him. Oh yeah,
Probably.
Belvedere.
Yeah. Yep.
Here's a tree that somebody's created for him. You could check and see if it looks correct or not. And then they've got all these different sources that you could look at. This guy, if that's your person, his dad is, according to this tree, his dad is Josiah Franklin Shelley, married to Susie Searles. Then they have these sources. Then they have his dad is David Shelley. Does this look right?
Yeah, he's my grandfather that changed his name and said he was from Texas.
Oh, he said he's from Texas. Oh.
That was not true.
So,
we don't know why. We don't know why he changed his name. We don't know. There's a lot of mystery behind his past.
Okay, well, and here it has different sources that might help. Like here's.
There you go.
Jack Morris.
Changed his name.
Married to Florence Gilbert. Is that right?
Yeah.
So apparently, whoever's doing this knows that there's some interesting things. Here's two pictures.
That look like one
and here
picture.
they find a grave. They have Jacques Maurice. Oh, with the father, Josiah Shelley and Susie Shelley. So interesting. You might find some things just to see what they have to say on this.
What we really wish is we wish you knew if he actually went to France. He said he might have fought in the World War I, and we don't know why he left and a few things.
So have you looked on fold 3?
I haven't myself. I haven't been on to do that.
Okay.
Let's see here if there's any World War I type. Oh, here's a draft registration for World War II, but for Jack Morris.
Yeah, he was living in California at that time. Yeah.
Oh, birthplace. This is where he says Essex County, Texas. Actually, there's an Essex County in New Jersey.
Right, but there is no
1950
Essex
census.
County, Texas.
The 1950 census will say whether or not he served in the military and which war.
Oh, that will be
You
good.
found him in the 1950 census, Jet.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I wouldn't believe a word he said though about that. So
Oh, okay.
So at least we know he filled out a draft registration. So whether he served or not, we're not sure.
Well, if he says that he's 52 years old, they're not going to draft him.
Yep. And I don't see World War I draft registration, but that he had a different name then, so it's hard to say.
I'd check prison records.
Here's his birth record right here.
yeah.
Social Security application is the same birth date. So yeah, I wonder why he changed his name. What, like you say, John, maybe they're looking the newspaper under both Jeff Morris and Charles Shelley and see if there's anything kind of track where he, according to these records that they had on this tree, just track where he was when, and maybe check newspapers for those different places and see if there's anything about him. Because why would he change his name unless, like you say, he had an affinity for France? and he wanted to be French, or he wanted to say he'd been to France.
He met my grandmother in Texas in 23 on her, as she was on her way to California.
They named a child Jack also.
Right,
Morris.
my Uncle Jeff. Yep.
That is really interesting to go from Charles Shelley to Jack Morris. Yeah, you wonder why did he do that? That's interesting.
Some people might wonder why Charles Clark went to Charles Hugo.
Yeah, me too.
I thought I
You
told
guys
you,
are getting
John.
some really, really good ones tonight. But
I'll have to send a message to Christy Light. I don't know who that is.
yeah,
Not
you
sure.
know what? I would do that. I would send her a message because obviously she knows he changed his name, or she wouldn't have those records there.
Must be somebody in the family that I don't recognize.
Yeah, I would definitely write her and see what you can find out. Well, we can have a closing prayer.
Diane, can I say something before that, before you close?
Yeah.
Somebody on the chat would like us to post a list. Well, at least my answer would be, we should post a list on our Facebook page of all the premium sites. So that people know what those are.
Really good idea.
And then the next thing that I'm thinking of is, would anyone like to be on a group with me to kind of challenge each other on 1950 census success? I did a little bit of research for Jeff today. Jeff, have you gotten my email yet?
I did, and that the site pointed to is very helpful. Good information.
Okay. It is possible for a group of friends to make a site on a group on Family Search to keep track of the success that they have in doing name review, family review, and header review for the 1950 census. If any of you would like to make a group with me, please put it on either on text, either on the chat really fast, or else on a listed on the Facebook page. I think it might be fun to kind of keep track of his friends, how successful we're being on that. And I'd also like to mention that Family Search is encouraging people to do Nevada. They want to get Nevada done before the end of the month, or at least before Flag Day. And so anybody that's willing to do research on our family review on Nevada, they would really appreciate it. Okay.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks y'all for coming. And Nancy, would you pray for us?
I'd be glad to.